Clock on my end has just struck 3:30, so we're going to try to be somewhat prompt. Hopefully there'll be some more folks joining us here in the next couple of minutes, but we will go ahead and get started. I think the recording is already rolling, but we just want to thank everybody who's here a little bit early and on time for our first STEM.LD Partner Showcase of 2022. We have just a little bit of housekeeping and introduction here to do, and then you'll be finished with me and on to the interesting stuff. I will point out though that several of the members of the STEM.LD staff that you've been hearing from are here. So you've got me, of course, Law Loving. You've also got Brashay Helton and Dr. Vicki Kirk and Brittany Siebert as well. So all of us are from the STEM.LD team, and you've probably gotten emails from us or other communications at some point. If you haven't, you probably will. I've also got the two presenters for today and our colleagues from the Niswonger Foundation, Dr. Gina Pavlovich and Jill Davis. They're going to be talking to you about, as you might guess from the slide here, Niswonger Online and AP Access for All, and how they are partnering with us on STEM.LD. I'm going to let them kick it off here in just a second. The only other thing that I will mention is we do ask that every school send a representative to each of the showcases. It doesn't have to be the same person. We have 6 showcases in all, and we'd like for each school to be represented so they can learn about the opportunities via STEM.LD. If you want to get credit for that, stick around to the end of today's video and presentation. Brashay will be dropping a short survey link in the chat, and that's where you can put your name and email in and get credit for having been here. So if you don't want us to bug you about, hey, why didn't somebody from your school make today's presentation, then that's the way to avoid that, is to make sure you fill that out for us. So without any further ado, I think that's everything I have on my end. I will turn it over to Gina and Jill and let them start telling you about Niswonger Online and AP Access for All.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Law, and to all of you, your whole team, for inviting us to be here. I'm really excited about this. A lot of these school systems that are partners with the STEM.LD program we've worked with for a decade now with the Niswonger Online program. But then there are some new faces and some new people. And so I really am looking forward to getting to know all of you. Thanks to you for being here also. I know it's 3:30 or even 2:30 if some of you are out in the Central Time, and I know that's a really tough time. So thanks for being here. We're excited about discussing this opportunity with you, also about just hopefully trying to plant some seeds of, oh, wait, maybe we could do this, some things like that will get you and your teams kind of thinking. And then really, most importantly, we're going to give you over and over our contact information and say, if you need us, please email anytime. Also, you're going to see our web addresses. You want to know what AP courses we offer and that your kids can have access to, you'll find it at TN AP Access for All. If you want to know all of our Niswonger Gen Ed courses, our 40+ Gen Ed courses and CTE courses that we offer, then you're going to be able to find those at niswongeronline.com. So just moving ahead, like Law said, I'm Gina. I'm the director of Niswonger Online and the new AP Access for All initiative. This is a partnership that we've come into with the Tennessee Department of Ed, in which we are now able to offer online AP courses to kids across the state. It's been an exciting time. We just got this grant and this partnership last spring. And so we've been in one full semester and we've just started our second spring semester. Things are going great. It's been amazing. We are currently serving 87% of all public high schools in the state have come on board with us. And so what we're going to do today is just introduce you to both of these programs, talk about what they are, like what are we doing, why are we doing it, how are we doing it, and then again, like I said, just trying to plant some seeds there with you in ways that we might be able to assist some of your students. Just a little bit about me, and then Jill, I'll let you tell them a little bit about you. I've been with the Niswonger Foundation. This is my 11th year now. I've been directing Niswonger Online for 6 years. I am a former social studies, high school social studies teacher, and you're going to see a map in this presentation. And I'll go ahead and warn you, every single presentation that I am in, you're going to see some kind of map in it. And that's just my geography blood. I used to teach world geography. That tells you a little bit about how old I am also, because that course is not even offered in the state anymore. But Jill, do you want to let them know a little bit about you?
Hi there, I'm Jill Davis. I am, as you can see there on the screen, I teach French. So I have a background in teaching French and also ESL at the high school level. And I've been teaching French for the Niswonger Foundation since 2014. And then a couple of years ago, started helping Gina with running Niswonger Online. And I love it. I love working with your online students.
Thanks so much, dear. She says that so nicely. She says, I just started helping Gina with Niswonger, and she actually saved me. I was like drowning. I said, I need help. I've got thousands of kids. And she stepped up, and it's been amazing ever since. As we go through this, you're going to notice that I'm going to really kind of focus on this new AP Access for All program. And then I'm going to turn it over to Jill, and she's going to talk a lot about the Niswonger Online Gen Ed program. When you're sitting in your office tomorrow and you think of a question and you think, I don't know who to ask, if you ask either of us or email both of us at the same time, we're going to get back to you. But, you will see that I am really focusing right now on this new AP Access program, which means that a lot of the Gen Ed things are really being headed by Jill. And so that's why we've kind of split it up that way today. But again, we're going to give you a little history of what we're doing here and why. We're going to talk about the AP Access for All program. We're going to talk about Niswonger Online, of course, the general ed courses. And then I want to give you a little bit of information. We can't really go into specific next steps because, like I said, some of you have worked with us for years. And so if you reached out to me about something, it's going to be a very different next step than if you have never had a student in your school take a Niswonger online class or an AP Access for All class. And so because of that, like I said, we're really going to be pushing that. Just reach out to us. Let's get together. Let me have a Zoom meeting with your team and just answer all of the questions that we can. And then come and think, talking about questions today, if you have any questions while we're talking, please feel free to just drop those in the chat box, and we're going to be monitoring that. And then at the end, we're going to say, okay, if you have any questions and want to unmute, then feel free to unmute and talk to us that way. So let's go into a little bit about what we are and what we are doing. First off, this is killing me. I'm sorry. Do y'all see that pop-up that keeps coming up? No, I hope not. Okay, there's a pop-up that keeps coming up on my screen. I just hope it's not showing on yours too. It's about my ink. Anyway, let's talk about this. So what are we? Niswonger Online. So Niswonger Online, like I said, has been around for over a decade, and the AP Access for All program really just grew out of Niswonger Online. It's the same basis. We're doing what we do for the same reason. It's just Niswonger Online is now focusing on all of the Gen Ed courses, and AP Access is now focusing on all of those AP courses. So big things. One, we are not an online high school. I am not competing with any high schools in the state of Tennessee. I personally don't want to ever be an online high school. We are just an online supplemental program. And so that's really important, because then what that means is we become an option for your students to take classes with us. But again, we're not competing with your, we're not taking any students away from you or competing with any of your classroom courses or doing anything like that. We're just a supplemental program. We are NCAA and College Board approved. which I'm very proud of. So if you have any athletes who take an online course with us, they do not have to worry if they go through that NCAA process. And then the College Board approval, all of our AP courses have gotten College Board approval. And that's just a really great thing for us, because both of those are just kind of showing, like, on this nationwide level, just like, we're doing what we say we're doing. We're creating really, some great online courses, rigorous. They are engaging. They are, we have the correct teachers, all of these things that you have to follow with these two organizations. We have proven that we're following that. And so that's been really exciting to be able to say that we're approved by both of them. Speaking of teachers, all of our courses are taught by Tennessee licensed teachers. So, if you're sitting there thinking, who in the world is going to be teaching my kids physics or AP psychology or whatever, and it's going to be a Tennessee licensed teacher who the vast majority are teaching in a classroom right now somewhere throughout the state of Tennessee. And then in the evenings and on the weekends, they're working with the online students. They're giving feedback, they're grading, they're answering questions, all of those types of things. Our courses are also asynchronous courses. And this is great because that means the kid is never asked to log in at a certain time or on a specific day. It gives them the flexibility to work whenever their schedule allows them to. Our online courses right now are, I would say the vast majority of our students, the schools are giving them some time period during the day, whether it's a full block or like a 55-minute or a 1-hour class. They're giving them time during the school day in a computer lab to work. But we also, though, with that said, we have a number of kids who have a full schedule at their local high school and then are only working on our courses after school and on the weekends. And because these courses are asynchronous, that's completely doable. So whatever is best for the student is how these work. We really want to be here to be a tool for you guys. Sorry, I just got something in my throat.
I will pick up here. So I think what Gina wanted to say is we just really want to be a tool for you to help you expand your course offerings, not to take away from any courses that you already have there at your school, but just provide you with additional courses, additional options. And we are, Gina says all the time, and I 100% agree, that we feel like all students should have an opportunity to take an online course while they are in high school, because not just, no matter what their path is, because they're getting important digital literacy skills. They're learning how to navigate an online platform. For me, I also think about the communication piece that goes along with that. They're learning how to email a teacher to ask questions, or email Gina or I to ask questions, or our tech team. They're just gaining valuable digital skills and communication skills, as well as the course information that they're learning. Gina, I'll let you jump back in.
No, that was perfect. Guys, see, I was not exaggerating when I said she saves me. No, that's exactly, I have nothing to add. So that's a little bit about what we are and what we're doing. The next thing I want to stress is just what we are not here to do. And number one, above all, is that we're not here to take any students out of your classroom. When we first got the AP Access program approved, and I was going across the state talking about this, I was telling everyone, listen, we want to be the next best option. If you can't find a teacher for that class, or if you've only got 2 kids in the whole school that would even be interested in taking that class, or if you have a scheduling conflict where band is given the same time as AP psychology and you have a student who wants both, well, now that student can take AP psychology with us and stay in the classroom with band. And we also get a lot of other great, schools will tell us how, I'm so thankful because some of our students are able to take econ and personal finance with you, and that opens up their schedule for more CTE courses or more hands-on science classes, things like that. And so we are, again, and this might be something that you need to stress to your school and of course to your teachers, is that we're not here to take anybody out of their classroom. We just want to be another option, where in the past schools would have to say, no, I'm sorry, you either have to choose band or AP psychology. Now they don't have to say that. And then something else I'm going to talk about in a little more detail in a moment is just that we also don't want to take away from your dual enrollment courses or that partnership. I know that schools have worked really hard to grow dual enrollment or dual credit programs, and I love that. We love that. The state loves that. But what we can do is actually help dual enrollment numbers grow, and especially help dual enrollment success rates grow, because that is something where, and with dual enrollment currently, students can't take it until their junior or senior year. And so sometimes these kids are not really seeing a lot of rigor until they get put into that dual enrollment class. Well, that can now change, for example, with our AP Access for All program, because a freshman can take, we have 3 classes actually that are geared towards underclassmen. There's absolutely no prerequisites. They're great kind of intro, or what the College Board calls gateway courses for freshmen and sophomores. So it's a great way to kind of identify very early students who this could help, and then help prepare them for when they move on to dual enrollment or dual credit their junior and senior year. They're even more comfortable than ever when they get into those classrooms. So a little bit of about what we are not. So I talked a moment ago about our teachers. They're from all over the state. I love them, and really this is how this program works. Like, how do we do this? I don't teach AP chemistry, guys. I could never, you don't want me to teach AP chemistry, but we have teachers who can do this, and they're highly trained. They're excellent. All of the AP teachers have been through AP training. All of our teachers across the board, again, they have the Tennessee licensure. And I say most of our teachers are still teaching in the classroom. The only exception to that rule is that we do have a few retired teachers, which I love, because then they can do like 2 classes for us, and they're excellent. But we love having all of our teachers from across the state, and this is just a few of them. We have a ton of teachers. You can see right here. So this past school year, we're going to have served almost 4,000 students in the AP and the Gen Ed courses, and I kind of divided it up for you here, and that's including almost 300 kids. And this breaks my heart, and this is something we're working on. But in the AP Access for All program, there was about 300 kids that wanted a class, and every single teacher we had, their class was full, and we had to say, I'm sorry, we don't have any more seats. And so what are we doing this summer? We're training a ton more teachers. We're sending as of right now, we have over 700 teachers who are being sent to an APSI, an AP Summer Institute training program, teachers from across the state again. And most of them have said, yeah, I'd love to teach for AP Access for All. So we're definitely working on getting all the teachers that we need, which I should never complain about not having enough teachers, right, with the people that I'm looking at right here. And so I want to apologize for even making note of that and pretending like I'm having a hard time, because I'm not, compared to many high schools in Tennessee. But anyway, so we could have served well over 4,000 kids if we'd had the teachers that we needed. And like I said, we are working on that. We're currently in the AP Access for All program. We've taken on 87% of all public high schools. And these are from the largest high schools in the state to some of our smallest. And I'm going to give some examples of ways in which we're helping all of them in just a moment. But, at the Niswonger Foundation, our kind of priority has always been, of course, helping rural districts And so when we started reaching out across the state, those were the districts that we really focused on. Now Shelby County heard about us and said, "Hey, Gina, I want to talk about this." And I said, "Awesome, let's talk. If you're big, that's great. I'll help you all, all I can." But again, our focus and our mindset is always helping the smaller high schools, those rural districts, and some of these smaller high schools are even in urban areas. I'm learning a lot with this new program, but just we all know how in some of these small high schools it's so difficult to really have a wide selection of courses because, like I said earlier, you may only have 5 kids in the whole school that would be interested in taking that class. And so, of course, it makes it really difficult to offer that class. We hired 97 teachers for our AP courses this year, and Jill has brought on 56 teachers across the state for her gen ed courses. So that's really exciting. And again, these are all Tennessee teachers who are doing this in addition to working in the classroom. And so we love that we're also helping out some Tennessee teachers too. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Jill for a minute then.
And I think Gina mentioned this already, but both of us just feel so strongly about this that we're going to keep telling you. But thinking about how Niswonger Online and AP Access for All can benefit your students, first would be to take a STEM class with us online. Maybe we have an option that you don't have available or don't have available at the time that student needs, as we've already discussed. Or the other option is to take other requirements online to allow for flexibility in their scheduling. So for example, you have a student who really wants to be able to take a class in person at school, but they also need to fulfill their world language requirement or their personal finance or econ government, something like that. They could take that online with us, either in the PE and wellness or another one that students a lot of times will even just take it in the summer to get it out of the way to make more room in their schedule for in-person classes in fall and spring. And we just love to see that. And on the next slide, I have just an anecdote from one of our schools that we work with. And so Cumberland Gap High School, and I don't know, we may even have someone from your school on the call, but just the way that we have been able to work together and expand offerings to this school is just exciting to me. So we're all about giving students choices, giving students access, providing equal access to all students across the state, no matter what school, how big or how small their school is. So currently we have 60 enrollments from Cumberland Gap High School across 13 different courses. They're taking things like American Sign Language and personal finance and econ to free up room in their schedule for something else. We also are helping this school with Spanish 1 and 2 as they have a teacher out on medical leave. So that 60 actually doesn't even include students that are also in Spanish 1 and 2. And these enrollments, I looked back at the fall, it was almost exactly the same. We had 58 enrollments in the fall, and they were also across 13 different courses. So everything from world language to social studies to fine arts. And I, especially as a French teacher and someone who enjoys art and museum visiting, was just so thrilled to hear about Isabella, who took AP Art History, I believe last year with us. And that helped her to decide she wanted to be a museum curator. And perhaps that's something that she might not have had as an idea before this course. So that's just really exciting to me.
Okay, so let's talk for a moment about a little more of the specifics on AP Access for All, and then I'm going to pass it to Jill and let her get some specifics on the Gen Ed program, and then we will definitely make sure that we leave and have ample time for you guys to answer any questions. First off, so today you're just meeting me and Jill, right? But what I like to stress to people is there's an entire team behind the scenes here that is here to support the schools, the students, your technology directors, anyone who needs support when you're using our online courses. And you say, you know, technology directors, but you'd be surprised. Like, we have our director of technology, Chris Dotson. He is in contact with school systems, you know, lead technology directors and those types of people every day to just make sure that if a kid is working from the computer lab and a video is not working, why is that? How can we help? You know, so just wanted to stress this. If you are in the core, the first Tennessee core region, then you have, well, I mean, I'm here, right? I live in Northeast in this part of Tennessee too, but we also have across the state people within each core region. So in the first Tennessee region, in addition to all of us who live here, you also have Marty Cleveland, who is amazing, who's going to be there to support you guys. And if you live in the East Tennessee region, you have Jill James, who we will connect you with. And she, again, another person, she lives a little north of Knoxville, but she's someone who is there in that region. And if you say, you know, Jill, come to this parent night and talk about AP access, you know, she's going to be there for you. And the good thing about this STEM.LD grant is, I don't know how far out law your schools go, but I could probably get to all of them. You know, when I've been in the past on Zoom meetings with, you know, Memphis and places like that, and they start saying, hey, we're having a parent meeting on Thursday. And I'm like, I'm not going to be at that parent meeting on Thursday. But again, though, you know, we have someone who is going to be there, and they're going to be here for you too. So I like to stress that we have a big team here to support you guys. This AP Access for All program, it was really, again, it was built on the same basis that Niswonger Online was built for, which was, you know, opening up access to kids for more course offerings. We like to say we wanted to level the playing field for students. And something that has happened this first year of this program is we really love working with our schools who have not been able to offer AP in the past. And you know, the thing is, and I know all of you understand this, is it's not that you don't want to offer AP, but again, it's, you might have 5 kids who would want to take, say, AP language, and you can't take your best English teacher out of a class of 30 and have her just teaching 5 students. And so we were really excited, you know, bringing on all of our almost 300 high schools we're currently working with all of them has been amazing, but really looking at some of these high schools that you see here, that for the first time in the fall, they offered their very first AP course. That was so great. The one I love is White County, who in the fall of 2022, they put 1 student in, and you're actually gonna see that student in just a moment, but they put 1 student in an AP class to be like, oh, let's see how this goes. And the girl just blew it away, did amazing. And so now they've added 14 more students this spring. And so I love that. And that is also something that I want to stress with AP Access and with Gen Ed. You know, you give me 1 student and I'm smiling because I know I'm helping 1 student, and I'm great with that. And if it's always just 1 student, 1 or 2 students, that's great. But we always understand how schools are like, well, let's see how this goes. And I would 100% be saying the same thing if I was in your shoes, right? And so a lot of our schools, that's what they did. They just put in 1 or 2 students in the fall, and then their enrollment, you know, just really went through the roof for the spring semester. And I know it will do the same for the fall semester. So that again is just why we're here, why we're doing this. I talked a moment ago about how AP courses can you know, work along with dual enrollment courses to help better prepare students. And here, you know, what we tell the schools is that with AP, you can allow students to experience college level courses before their junior year. And we have schools right now, we have middle schools right now that are promoting AP Access courses to their 8th graders who are getting ready to go into their freshman year. And that's wonderful. That's great. We do have the College Board has a ton of you know, data and on how AP courses when they're younger, not only does it grow their, it gives them, these students on average have a higher ACT score, but it also really helps, again, high schools dual enrollment programs, because you're able to identify students early and then prepare them for it. So their junior year, when they do walk into that dual enrollment course, they feel better about it. They're not so worried. They've seen that rigor before. And that's something that I personally, and this is my soapbox, and I won't stay on it for too long, but I think every high school student before graduation should have an online course, an AP course, and a dual enrollment course. Like, they should experience all of those 3 courses. 90% of those kids should experience that, because even no matter what that next path is, if you have a student who is doing AP and then going into dual enrollment and then going into trade school, again, they've already been working at that high level of rigor that they're just going to be, they're going to be prepared for it. And that is one thing about students, especially from rural areas. They get accepted to UT and then they walk in the door and they just feel like, oh, I'm so behind. This kid over here has already had 5 college courses and things like that. And so we're just trying to help all of our students throughout Tennessee to feel like they are on the same playing field as every other student in the state. So a little bit about the courses that we offer, and you can find all of these courses on our website, on the TN AP Access website. But we currently offer 15 courses where we have 3 in development that we are hoping to have out there for the fall. But you can see how, so psychology, we had a huge demand for AP psychology courses. And we have 21 sections of AP psychology. And like I said in a previous slide, I still had to say no to some students because I ran out of psychology teachers. Every one of them that applied that met the bill, we put them through training and they have a maxed out class. And so we are working on getting more of those teachers though. But this kind of shows you a bit of a layout of how our courses are being taken. The second one there, human geography, this is an excellent course for those underclassmen, freshmen, and sophomores. It's a great gateway course for these kids. It's a way for them to very early in their high school career get used to that rigor. And then just like every other course you see here, they have the ability to test in May. And if they get a 3 or higher, they earn college credit. The one thing I do want to point out, so like Calculus BC, it's actually brand new this semester. So it has a really low enrollment, the calculus course here, but the rest of them are just kind of right along the lines of what we thought the demand would be when looking at the national demand of AP courses. And we're really excited that, again, that these kids are able to have these opportunities to take these. And then I told you a minute ago that I was going to introduce you to a kid from White County, and right here she is. And gosh, is she not the cutest thing you've ever seen? And then when she gave us this quote, I was like, can I hire this child? Because she's amazing. But I love what she says. She's the very first student at White County High to take an AP class. And she basically said, I signed up for this class because I wanted to break the stigma that ag and vocational students are not intelligent. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. And, if anybody ever had that stigma, that she definitely broke it. She broke down those walls. But so I love showing this. But then also I have Rudra here, who's from Hillwood High School. I don't know if you know where that is. That's a very wealthy area north of Nashville. Hillwood, if the College Board offers 36 AP courses, guess what? Hillwood High School offers 36 AP courses. He had everything there at the school, but he was one of those who wanted to go above and beyond. And again, there's only 7 hours in a school day. And so he said that the AP Access program was really a way for him to overcome any scheduling issues. And I love these two kids because if you look it up on a map, this is maybe 2 hours. They're maybe 2 hours away from each other, but they're like kind of from different worlds, right? And so I just think it's great that we can help. And again, it's because of the flexibility of the courses and the scheduling and all of that. I love that we can help both of these kids. Okay, so I am going to turn it over to Jill. I did want to ask, if anybody wants to ask any questions, again, just drop it in the chat box. If you think of something and if you're like me and you forget it 2 minutes later, drop it in that chat box because we are going to keep an eye on that. But Jill, I want to go ahead and turn it over to you now.
Okay. Thank you, Gina. I guess we'll go on to the next slide, and I believe we're just going to talk about our course offerings there. So I just wanted to briefly let you know, Gina told you about the number of courses. I believe we're actually at just over 50 general education courses right now. So these are everything in math, science, CTE, language arts, social studies, fine arts, world languages. We've got another elective category and also PE courses. We do offer our full course catalog every fall, spring, and summer semester, and as long as we have enrollment numbers, we can run all of those courses. We work hard to make sure that we are able to meet the demand there. Year-long options are also available if you had a group of students that you wanted to enroll in a year-long course, and that is particularly useful if we're, especially for maybe if we're thinking about middle school students, just giving them a little extra time with the course material. We do have 4 fully online CTE pathways, and I'll show you those on the next slide, but those are coding, networking, health sciences, and then we also have teaching as a profession. So all of those are fully online. And I just wanted to, on this slide, just dive a little deeper into our STEM courses, since that's kind of the focus of our meeting and the grant. But also, as we've said, you might explore the options in those other categories as well. But for math, we have Algebra 1 and 2, we have geometry. In science, we have chemistry and physics. Our physics teacher, who's taught with us for many years, just revamped the physics class, and we've got a huge group in physics this year because we're helping a school who was short a teacher, and I'm hearing really good things about the course. As I mentioned already, the health sciences pathway. That is health science education, medical therapeutics, and anatomy and physiology. That's the 3 courses. Medical terminology, I don't believe fits into that pathway, but is very useful for students. And anatomy and physiology can also be substituted for a third option for science. So we do have a group of students completing that course as a science option at one of the virtual academies that we partner with. And then looking at sort of computer science, we have both coding and networking as pathways. They both start with computer science foundations. And then you have coding 1 and coding 2. And then we've got computer systems and networking in this networking pathway. And if you need more information kind of about those, I'd have to consult my notes, but there are some certifications or tests that students can sit, and it prepares them for perhaps a dual enrollment course in this area. So we're really excited about those. These 3 pathways have really seen a lot of growth since we got them started. I believe that was that in 2020, Gina, that they came on board? I think that's when we started our
2019 or 2020. Yeah.
So they've seen just consistent growth, and we're really excited about that. On the next slide, I just wanted to briefly talk about the support that's available. And this goes for AP Access for all courses and general education courses. We provide support for students, but also for parents and school staff. So for example, the students are going to receive welcome emails from their teacher as the course gets started. They're also going to, if they're in a gen ed course, they've received, for example, our spring semester students have received a series of emails from me. The first 3 weeks of class, on Mondays, I would email them with resources for getting started or tips for enabling all their different notifications to make sure they get all the information they need. We also provide students with how-to videos and PDFs within the courses and through those emails. Then there's help resources available on our website for all different tech issues that they might encounter, how to use Canvas, our learning management system, and how to use the Canvas app and all those types of things. Students, as well as parents and school staff, have tech help available through the trouble ticket, on our website. Our tech team monitors that 7 days a week. And as Gina said, sometimes we have students working in the evenings, they're working on the weekends. And so they know that they can get tech help on the weekends if needed or after hours. They also can contact their teacher via course messaging, and also teachers all have a Niswonger Foundation email. Students can meet live with their teacher for virtual office hours. Each teacher is going to have maybe a different way that they do that. Some of them use a Google Meet, some of them might arrange phone calls and different things, but they do have the option to meet with teachers live to ask questions. And of course, Gina and I are always available to answer student questions. Sometimes if students have received an email from us with welcoming them to class, they'll just reply to that and ask us questions, and we can help them or point them in the right direction for who they need to contact. Parents and school staff receive login information to our online system to be able to monitor students' progress, and we'll also provide you with training on how to use that, whether that's a video or kind of a PDF with screenshots. Here's how to find the information that you need. And we have help resources also available on our website. There's a dedicated section of our website for school staff and for parents. And another thing that I didn't put on the slide, but wanted to mention, we send out a quarterly newsletter with kind of announcements about important dates and upcoming deadlines, and when does enrollment open and all those types of things. And we also will monthly, at least, reach out to schools with any students of concern. And then school staff is always welcome to contact Gina, and parents, of course, are always welcome to contact Gina or I at any time if they have concerns about a student's progress or anything at all. So I think that's it.
Excellent. Thank you. Let me go back to this really fast. First off, the STEM.LD team is probably has already or is going to very soon share with you some folders, some links to folders, and if you click on the Niswonger Online folder, you will find this entire slide deck, and you'll also find our email address and some other information. You'll find our websites that you can just click on. But all of that's going to be there for you guys. So if you, again, if you're further down the road and you have more questions, you can go through and easily find out or remind yourselves how to get in touch with either of us. And then finally, I know I did want to add one thing just to dig in a little bit more on this, because I didn't say a lot about it. But 8th graders, if you've ever wanted an 8th grade enrichment program at your middle school, we are helping out a number of middle schools with this. And students are taking everything from Algebra 1 to personal finance to a visual arts course. It's just whatever is best for you and for your students, that's also an option. So we talk a lot about Niswonger Online and high school courses, but I do want to stress that our gen ed courses, the ones that don't have, as long as the 8th graders met the prerequisites, let me say that, 8th graders can take our gen ed courses. Now, 8th graders cannot take AP courses, but like I said, we currently have right now schools who are, talking to 8th graders who are in honors English and things like that, and talking to them about the possibility of taking an AP course their 9th grade year with us. So just again, something else to kind of put in there for you guys to think about when you take this back to your schools and you start talking to your leadership teams about, ways in which you might be able to get this going at your schools. I will also share that, just one last thing, and I promise I'm going to stop. I just wanted to say that, again, we're not really giving specific steps of like, hey, if you're all in, do this, because you guys are at very different levels. Again, some of you have worked with us for a decade and you're all on board on everything. And so you doing this is a very easy next step. Whereas some of you may be just now hearing of Niswonger Online for the first time. And so just reach out to one of us and we will definitely get that process started and we'll talk to you. I'd love meeting with you and your teams. Again, you guys are not as far away as some of my other high schools. And so if you want me to come to you and sit down and just discuss this and answer questions, I'd love to. Or if you want to get together on a Zoom, I'm of course all in on that. So I'm done. So what I want to do now is just, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask them, or again, just drop those questions in the chat box.
So while any questions are potentially coming in, I will just also mention that if you are interested in doing some more work with Niswonger Online or AP Access for All, you can absolutely feel free to reach out to Gina and Jill if you would like for the STEM.LD staff to make a connection for you. We're also happy to do that on our end. You should have all of our emails by this point. So really, we're very easy to get a hold of is the point. And we would love to help continue to advance some of the work that Gina and Jill are doing, especially as it also furthers our work with STEM.LD. If there aren't any questions pressing, then I will just finish up with a couple of things and try to buy a little more time in case somebody is formulating something in their head. So Brashay is going to go ahead and drop the attendance link in the chat. If you missed the very beginning of this, I will just say that I'll just remind everybody that we want a representative from every school to attend these meetings, ideally live. There will be a recording that's available, but this is your chance to ask questions. Sorry, the dog in the background there, of course. Not for the last hour, but now all of a sudden when I take the mute button off. Brittany is also dropping our STEM.LD site in there, and you can see there's a bunch of documents that are good reference points for that. This recording will go up on our website, so if you have other folks that you want to send this to watch, they can do that. But if you want credit for attending this from the school side of things, then make sure you fill out that first link that Brashay dropped in the chat. I am also, for the purposes of the recording, going to share my screen here really quickly. So here's the shortened Google link there. So if you want to type that in by hand, you can do that. And if, of course, you're watching the recording, make sure that you fill that form out there. Last couple of housekeeping notes. This was our first showcase. We have 5 more of these. The next one is not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So that will be February the 22nd. It's in this same time slot from 3:30 until 4:30, and it's the same Zoom link. So it's the same Zoom link for all of our showcases. I did hear that some folks are maybe having some trouble getting in to today's Zoom. So it should be wide open, but if you have trouble, let us know. We'll try to troubleshoot for you. And I'd also recommend trying to log in a little bit early to make sure that you're able to get in. And so, yeah, the next showcase will be University of Alabama, Huntsville, which is cybersecurity focused. And then also Walter State Community College. They have a lot of really cool offerings around CTE, both for students and for teachers. So definitely plan to join for that. I'm going to check the chat here and see. Brittany has also put our calendar of events on there. So last call for any questions. Last call for any questions at all. Going once, going twice. Well, thank you all for attending today. We really appreciate it, and definitely reach out if you do have questions. Hopefully this sparked some brainstorming on your end about how you could potentially participate with Niswonger Online and AP Access for All if you haven't already been doing so. And just know that we are here to support you and support your students in any way that we can. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.